Alrighty, folks, we are going to try this once again. Fingers crossed. Hopefully 4 times the charm. Otherwise, I am packing my bags right now and going to Seattle. And I'm going to slap around bobbling. Alrighty. Looking good. Players are in the game. Fingers crossed, folks. Fingers crossed. Except for the fact now that my... Hey, there we go. Nope. Oh, come on. Hey, there we go. Alrighty. So here we go, folks. One more time for the introductions. Here we go. We are on Game Bracket C. Doc versus Wreckz. Take 4. Nothing has changed. They have kept the same loadouts. They're on the same map. Same pilot, same mech, same everything. So let's see, folks. How is this going to happen? Once again, now that each one of them knows the opening strategy of the other one, how is it going to completely change? Well, it's going to change by Doc completely transitioning his normal, his method from the last game, flying in 4 boomers, trying to neutralize out this outpost. But even if he does, he has no creep tier available. It's going to be incredibly hard for him to still take over that. And even if he does, he doesn't have that many units in reserve. I'm not too sure, in all honesty, what the purpose for him doing that was now that he's pulling out that T99 and dropping it back in the mid-battle. I could have seen if he was trying to keep those units in his build line and he was going to take over that outpost that he just neutralized. But the fact that he refocused back on the mid-fight, not entirely sure of the strategy right there. I can only guess that he was trying to hope that it was going to be more of a distraction for Wreckz than it was. But unfortunately, unlike the last time that we were on here, this game is going completely different in favor of Wreckz this time around. Wreckz, actually there is a change. I am sorry, I just realized that. Wreckz has taken Geminis with him this time. He did not have them before. That is a significant change. I'm trying to remember what he had there before. He changed stuff around because the Joker was over where the Gemini used to be. He had the Flash of the Morty, the Ratchet. I'm not too sure which unit that he pulled out of his loadout that he had last time. Generators, that's what it is. He changed his generators for the Gemini. And that is completely making this a completely different game. Not going well for Doc at all. Wreckz so many infantry there. There's just nothing Doc could do to stop that from pushing in all the way. Meanwhile, Wreckz using those bomber swipes, wiping out everything, and all the advantages that Doc had the last time he was here is completely negated. He is losing all of his units, all the map control. Wreckz all over the place. It's amazing, folks, how one unit changes everything. But at the same time, how much of a badass is that, folks? Keep in mind, like we always say, it's not just about winning this, but how you win. The units that you use to win, the tactics that you use to win. That is why it's all about you folks and seeing this. That T99 down to 15. And Gemini takes 1 hit, it is gone. And unfortunately, Doc is in a terrible position here. Back completely up against the wall. He has almost nothing out on the battlefield. Wreckz has complete control this time around. Is even going to start building up a few Jokers just to push out on the side. Where can Doc get back into this? He needs to fortify this spot, and he needs to focus on Longhorns because that's basically all that he has. He has those Longhorns and the Boomers. Maybe he can use enough Boomers to take them out, but he's got to be careful of those Gaddies because those Gaddies will shred Boomers in seconds. Joker spam right there, front door. No real damage done whatsoever. Merely a distraction. Wreckz now going to circle deploy out Jokers. And here they come. But not just using the auto deploy, he picked them up, dropped a few of them off, getting that XP. Keep in mind now, if you do auto deploy, you're not always getting the XP for it. So by doing it this way instead, much better because you get the XP and you still circle loop the stuff up. But, I mean, when you've got Jokers versus Longhorns, you kind of got to give it to the Longhorns. Now, yes, Longhorns not as effective at killing light units the way Geminis are, but they still, as long as they're not too outnumbered, they should be able to do a pretty decent job. But definitely just unbelievable how one unit changing completely changes the course of the entire battle. This round of duel was completely different than the one that we saw before everything started falling apart. D0K trying to hit the lockbox. 3 flyovers before he can finally pick it up. Because of so many flyovers, he doesn't have enough energy. He finally gets the lockbox. Wreckz not realizing that the lockboxes are up yet. That is unusual for him. Either he doesn't realize it or he's just so focused on trying to build up these units that he doesn't care. D0K already getting the first lockbox. Coming in, cloaks up, picks up the second one. And Wreckz saying, how does this work? How does what work, bro? Have no idea what you're having trouble with. D0K flying in. Wreckz trying to get the lockbox. Realizing it's too late, but he's being chased down. D0K taking too much damage. Will sacrifice his life for the lockbox to keep it out of Wreckz's hands. The sad part, though, is even though Wreckz doesn't get that lockbox, and even with all the units that Wreckz has built, Wreckz is still floating more credits than D0K is. D0K floating 23. They're now almost tied up 1-to-1 on those credits. But still, all things considered, Wreckz has more than double the amount of units out on the battlefield, and is technically floating more credits as well, even without getting any lockboxes. And now D0K in a lot of trouble. That is a tremendous amount of Geminis being pushed in. Wreckz drops off 2 Geminis as a sacrificial lamb, so that way all the units target the closer one and give all the other Geminis more than enough time to get in range. D0K with the kill on Wreckz. Vital kill at a key moment. Wreckz no longer hitting support his units, and D0K is just wiping them up. Longhorns against Geminis. Longhorns will win every day of the week so long as the numbers are fairly equal. And D0K feeling some advantage, pushing out all the creeps, trying to neutralize this outpost. Can D0K try to turn this around? 38 to 56 upkeep. Credits 11,000 to 31,000. Can D0K find a way back into this? Double outpost attack right now. He's trying to box in Wreckz on both ends. If he can do this, this could be a huge advantage for him. He gets up, gets out of there, easily will survive. But Wreckz still with that mid-battle control and now deploying out. That is a lot of walking death here, folks. That is a lot of death. Moving through. Morty's all over the place. That poor T99 doesn't stand a chance. Wreckz switching over the units at the last moment. All coming in at this outpost. But they may not do so good. But D0K needs to definitely help. Stasis blast them out. Keep your tanks alive. Don't let those units take over. More units coming in. Attacks all over the place. D0K, meanwhile, gets control of this factory. Trying to get it back under control. Ignoring everything that's coming in at his base. Fortunately, they are only jokers that are coming in. So really, what are we looking at, guys? This is more of a pew, pew, pew. Because, I mean, that is just, look, what, -3, -4 per shot? That is really, considering how long all these units are shooting here, guys, that base health is not changing whatsoever. And D0K realizing that is trying to keep control of this factory. This factory would have been vital for him in his war effort if he could have gotten control of it. But Wreckz nowhere near the upkeep advantage that he had. It's 22 to 40. D0K getting back into this, V-pathing it out. Do it. Can he do it? Can he get back into this? Those units still there, still pewing in. -5, -3, -13, still not any significant damage. Creep spawns more than enough to deal with it. D0K realizing that is willing to be a badass and take the damage in order to try to get map control. But Wreckz getting back into this hard. 15 Geminis out on the battlefield. D0K's Longhorn push finally pushing in, and because Wreckz had pushed all of his Geminis out over here, the middle outpost now completely undefended. The Longhorns are coming in. Can D0K get control of this outpost and use it as some sort of launching platform? Wreckz pushing out with his own Geminis. That's a lot of Geminis. This will not be able to be dealt with just a few creeps and things like that. D0K realizing that, trying to get his defenses online, get them ready. T99 goes down on the socket. The units are coming up. Meanwhile, D0K completely getting control of this middle outpost. Is D0K going to fight his way back into this? With only 4 units on the battlefield and losing all his control of anything, is D0K enough of a badass to completely get back into this? That T99 without socket support dies so quickly to so much Gemini fire. That last one will survive. barely survive. But enough of those tanks still get through, still make it in, and Wreckz using all that essentially as a distraction to destroy everything Doc had at that middle power station, taking it back under his control once again. And poor Doc just can't seem to catch a break anywhere. Wreckz is on him so bad. All over his ass. Wreckz trying to show that he is a badass. But Doc just will not go quietly in the night. He's pushing him, but this is a lot of Geminis that he is pushing into. He's trying to pick up some units. He's trying to support them. But Wreckz there with the bomber, level 10, hurricane, whirlwind swipes going on. And those Longhorns are nothing more than just lunch. Maybe not even a satisfying lunch for Wreckz. Doc trying to chase him down, but Wreckz will survive, will heal up. And Doc now suddenly... 6-to-1 upkeep disadvantage in favor of Wreckz. That was Doc's last hurrah push. He pushed into too heavily defended of an outpost. He probably should have tried to fortify his fortress instead and let Wreckz push into him and try to use defender's advantage. Or if he wanted to push, he should have pushed straight out through the field and pushed back, trying to take over this middle outpost, or even continued on straight into a completely undefended fortress. He wouldn't have necessarily still won, but at least it would have first distracted Wreckz back over to his fortress and would have at least done some damage to the fortress. It wouldn't have been game ending for sure, but possibly without mech support over here, then Doc could have came in, brought a few, 1 or 2 tanks or something, sacrificed them out, and used himself with Stasis Blast to try to take out those Geminis, and without mech support, it could have gone completely different. Doc now level 9. He could build the Devastator if he had the money for it. The problem is that he doesn't. There's no money to be had anywhere. Lockboxes not respawning back up. Wreckz all over the place, wrecking everything. Throw it up on the Twitch chat, hashtag Wreckzingball. Because he is just barreling through. And unfortunately for Doc, I don't see how Doc can try to come back to this. Wreckz is at full map control. Doc in imminent danger. 10 seconds. Brutes! Excuse me, Butchers running in, using the cover of the creeps, but they still just go down quick. That Brute's just going to hang out there. I guess he was on a smoke break. He was like, nope, not going to do anything, just going to chill. Doc neutralizes out the outpost, doesn't take any significant damage from the domination, resets the timer down, getting out more T-99s, just trying to get his base ready for the inevitable push that he knows is eventually coming, using those sockets to his advantage for all those T-99s, increasing their firing rate, increases the amount of missiles that they shoot. It's a good approach. Wreckz now pushing out, Doc trying to get everything he can on the front lines. Wreckz nowhere to be found to support these units. Doc landing down, stasis flashing out these units. Can he hold? Wreckz now shows up out of nowhere. Comes in like a wrecking ball, but he goes down. He goes down to the T-99. Can Doc hold? Is this the turning point? Can Doc take this all out, not take too much damage, and then still be able to push out and somehow get himself back into this? Unfortunately, the overtime damage is also cumulative with these tanker pushes. And right now, Doc's so focused on trying to take out the tank push that he's taking so much overtime damage that even though he stops the actual push, he takes too much damage from the overtime damage. In some ways, that overtime damage may have done more damage to him than the tanks themselves did. He now shuts down the overtime damage, but he is down to about 15% base health left. In the long run, it might have been the actual map domination that was more harmful to Doc than the push itself was. And Wreckz using that map domination to do the extra damage. Not necessarily the most badass style win. I mean, you do have Geminis and map domination. But it is up to you, folks. You are the ones in the end that have to decide how much of a badass Wreckz was to get this win. And take it all. The damage is coming in at the end. Doc will not most likely be able to stop this. This will be GG. But again, Doc takes a piss on Wreckz's units. The ultimate insult. Right there. Doc takes... that was the best possible way. I mean, if you're about to lose, man, that has got to be one of the best ways to accept defeat. Lift your leg, piss on your enemy units. Doc, I salute you, man. Unfortunately, you didn't win, so you can't get credits for badass for that. But that was still pretty badass on its own, man. But anyway, it is Wreckz that is the winner, so don't go anywhere, folks. The polls will be opening up for 2 minutes. Cast your vote as to how much of a badass Wreckz was winning this match. Your score combines with the score of the OPTV staff and determines how much Wreckz gets for that game. We will be pairing up Game D momentarily. Don't go anywhere. You're watching OPTV. Hit that follow button, like us, subscribe to us all over the place, all over our social network, and BOP.